you know, wide variety. Anything you can think of being an expert in, we're going to get to it. Now, right now, we're focusing on ones that are sort of more general, that span many domains, but eventually we might even have, you know, financial test experts, embedded systems test experts, you know, things that really look at how people apply specific ideas to specific domains, and maybe even specific technologies too, object-oriented testing experts. So there's really a lot of scope for growth here. And there will be training courses available for the expert. They will likely be different than the other courses, because they will tend to include more of a hands-on and sort of iterative approach to the training. And the idea that you're going to sit down and get it in you know, one shot of 5 days or 6 days or something is not realistic. It's something more likely to be spread out and over time. And we would expect that the examination process will be a little different too, more like a dissertation than anything else. So at this point, the Expert Test Manager syllabus, which I am helping to write, I'm on the chair of that subgroup within the Expert Working Group. We have the Expert Test Management syllabus probably about 70% of the way done. And Improving the Test Process syllabus is actually done and out for beta. Okay, so how to visualize this? Basically, the model that I've kind of always wanted to have here mentally, and I've never gotten around to drawing this picture, is one of a tree. So we've got a root, you know, a base of the tree that is the foundation, and that's the largest. We would expect that would always be the most significant number of people holding that. Of course, it's also, the foundation is a prerequisite to any of the other subsequent levels of certification, so you would need to have that to advance on. Now, excuse me, we have advanced technical test analyst, advanced test analyst, which is really the advanced functional tester. So this is the advanced test analyst here. I've labeled it advanced functional to differentiate it from the technical test analyst, which is over here. And these two are really very close. Then we have the advanced test manager, which you know, this guy here, which is very different than those two, because it is focused very much on management. And then we would expect that those would be maybe approximately equal, though at this point we're seeing a really disproportionate pickup in the test manager as the primary one, and kind of lesser pickup here for this guy, and very little for that one so far, but we expect to get there. The expert levels, there will be more than 4 of them. Those will always be, I think, fairly niche offerings in a sense. Okay, well, how is the program doing? Well, the program is doing very well, thank you. If you look at total certification and its growth, again, I took over in March of 2005, and we at that point had somewhere around 20,000 certificate holders, probably 20 to 25 maybe. And over the 4 years that I was president up until just back in April, or March or April of this year, we expanded fourfold to over 110,000. As you can see, we've got 110,000 here. So the program has succeeded remarkably well. It's undergoing a continuous growth, and while it looks linear, the interesting thing here is that what you are actually seeing is a composite of exponential growth curves across the now 45 or more national boards. There's sort of an overlaying thing that tends to happen is the first few years the board starts off, it's kind of a slow number of exams, and it's getting itself established, getting the message out there. But after the board has been in existence for, say, 3 to 5 years. The exact launch period it varies, but after the board's been in existence for 3 to 5 years, the program really takes off. So, it took all the way up until June, I think it was, May or June of 2007, for the American Software Testing Board to go from 0 certificates issued when it was founded in 2003 or 2004 up to 1,000. Right, so there's like a 4-year period to get to 1,000 certificates. But then in the basically 2 years since, we've gotten to 6,000. So it's a factor of 6 growth. So that's clearly exponential growth is happening here in the United States, and that tends to be typical of the boards as they get into that mature phase. They really take off, and so I expect that we'll see a lot more growth in the ISTQB program here in the United States and indeed around the world. And I'm looking at this certification and assuming the growth, and assuming that we're going to be hitting 500,000 total certificates issued probably in the next say 4 years. Okay, so what is the value of the certification? And the numbers are good. It's clearly there's a lot of people voting with their feet, voting with their time to get certified. Why are they doing this? Well, the individual tester demonstrates mastery of best practices and the key concepts in the field, and it of course advances their career and their opportunities in what is becoming an increasingly competitive market. Even when times were good. Back about a year or so ago, and a year and a half ago, and people were struggling to find testers, it was a tough market, and it's obviously getting a lot tougher now. The organization can ensure better testing for better software and thus lower costs of poor quality, so it'll save money. And also, one of the things that a lot of our clients tell us when we go in and do training with them is that there's increasing consistency in the reusability of their testing across different teams. It's like the Tower of Babel being dissolved, and people starting to actually communicate effectively together and have common terminology and so forth. And that, of course, makes a much more efficient organization. And then to the profession, we are giving an opportunity, I think, to build on their best work, stop going in circles. We can agree that what's in the foundation is stuff that is foundational, and that what's in the advance is stuff that people should know. And you can quibble with some of the things in some of the syllabi if you like, and I certainly have no objection to people going through and going, well, that shouldn't be there, or there should be more of this or more of that. But I think if you take an honest look at the syllabi and ask yourself, for each one of the concepts that's defined there, what are called the learning objectives, what we want people to be able to do, just ask yourself, would the testing profession be better off if everybody knew about this and knew how to properly apply this concept? And I think you'll find that 90% of the time you're going to say yes. Now, you and I might have a different 90% that we agree with, but on the whole, that there's real value there, and that we should and we can take advantage of that. And as we start to build a consensus around that, that's going to define the profession and ultimately what professional testers know and should know, and start to set a level of expectation about what it means to be a professional tester. Okay, now when I talk about changing the way people work, I'm going to give you an example of this. I'm going to use an RBCS client as an example, because obviously those are the ones I know best. It might very well be the case that other training providers could provide similar examples, but of course I wouldn't know. But anyway, one of our clients ran a foundation course as a pilot, trying to say, okay, do we think this has value? And this is a large organization. They have a lot of offices in the United States. So they picked one team and said, yeah, we're going to pilot it here. So the week after the course, one of the testers went out, kind of scratching his head, going, I learned this interesting technique, is equivalence partitioning, and I'm going to go through my regression tests, and I'm going to try to figure out what the